I feel like maybe Blake smelled his kindness, mistook it for weakness, and tried to take advantage and take power, so yeah.
So you believe Blake Lively wrestled control of the film?
I think she tried to, yes.
Did she succeed in the end?
Probably, yeah. I think that there was a massive compromise in terms of Justin's original vision for the film.
Blake Lively might have just blown up her own case against Justin Baldoni, and I've got the proof to back it up. The clip everyone's been obsessing over actually exposes a massive lie. The so-called evidence she swore was 100% real turns out to be totally fake, and now her whole story is crumbling right in front of everyone's eyes. This case isn't just big, it's explosive, and watching it unfold feels like deja vu. Blake's giving major Amber Heard energy right now.
Not only did Sony execs call her epic level stupid, and they blamed her for all of the bad press and PR they got, but they completely took a swing at her hair care products. This is hilarious. On August 11th, 2024, the executive VP and chief communications officer at Sony said this about Blake. She orchestrated all this drama in a totally unsavvy and amateur way and basically threatened Sony, and now is mad it backfired on her. Another one said that she didn't deserve the backlash, but she did bring it on herself by refusing to listen to advice and by selling her product. And the Sony president said she did this to herself. If she just let him come to the premiere or didn't make all the cast unfollow him or kick him off the movie and did what everyone else has done in show business for time immemorial, which is protect the show, then none of the sleuthing would have happened. Then the best one, the hair sell at the same time was epic level stupid. She wouldn't listen. She knows better. I don't know why she would have done this. How could she think any of this makes her look good? Her case is unraveling by the second.
Everyone's been glued to this drama. Blake Lively suing Justin Baldoni has taken over every feed. Ryan Reynolds is standing firm beside her, and she's brought in one of the most powerful lawyers in the country to fight this battle. On paper, it looks like she's untouchable, like she's got this whole thing in the bag. But hold on, because things are about to take a wild turn.
The idea of going back to work right away, and also the idea of prepping for our movie and wanting to work out every day and all that, but yet being on set all day every day. I'm like, what have I done? Shooting in April, shooting in March is just too soon after having a baby and not sleeping, wanting to be in my best shape and all that. So anyway, I'm trying to work on that, and I think that's a possibility. So I just wanted to let you know that, in case you wanted to go a couple weeks or something, you're welcome to. And all these there's selfish reasons I'm telling this. I know that I'll schedule a schedule. I'm not trying to move anything, but if by chance you're oh my God, if I could go 2 weeks earlier, that would actually be great, then amazing. And if it is what it is, then it is what it is. But selfishly, what I would love about that is that, Maya and Honey have also been really stressed about spending a month apart. And, I just, it's so not none of it's your problem. That's what I'm talking to you as a friend at this point more than anything.
What most people don't realize is that brand new evidence just dropped, and it flips the entire case upside down. This isn't just gossip. It's video footage that could expose the truth once and for all. Blake's version of events might not be what she wants the world to believe, and this new footage could change everything.
Hi, I'm so sorry.
Wait, what are you...
No, I just...
Is everything okay?
Yeah, you forgot this.
Wait, what? No, babe, this isn't mine.
I know, I happen to love you too.
All right, cut.
That's great. That's great.
Before we break down how Blake completely wrecked her own case, let's rewind for a second to see how this whole mess even began. Don't worry, we'll keep it quick since most people already know the headlines, but the details, that's where it gets wild. So, back in 2023, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were working together on the movie It Ends With Us. At first, it was just normal on-set tension, creative differences, the kind of thing that happens in Hollywood all the time. But Blake didn't stop there. She turned it into something much bigger. She came out with serious accusations against Justin, saying he crossed professional boundaries and made her uncomfortable on set. She even said he used his influence to intimidate her during filming. These are no small claims. They could destroy someone's career if proven true. We're talking career-ending accusations here. But Blake didn't stop there, not even close. She doubled down and took it to a whole new level. Blake claimed that Justin Baldoni and his crisis PR team were behind a full-blown smear campaign designed to crush her reputation. According to her, they plotted to take her down just because she dared to speak up about what she said happened on set. That's a massive claim, basically accusing someone of orchestrating an entire plan to ruin your life. But things didn't just play out online or in gossip columns. Blake made it official. She filed a formal complaint with the California Civil Rights Department, putting her allegations on the record. And then she went even further by hitting Justin Baldoni and his studio, Wayfarer Studios, with a federal lawsuit for sexual harassment and retaliation. This wasn't just talk, it became a full-scale legal war. Still, Justin wasn't about to let that slide quietly. He hit back hard. He filed a jaw-dropping $400 million countersuit. Yes, you heard that right, $400 million. He went after Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and even their publicist, accusing them of civil extortion and defamation. Their legal team claimed that Blake and Ryan tried to snatch control of the movie and destroy his reputation in the process. That's not just drama, that's Hollywood warfare. At first, everyone thought Blake had the upper hand. She had a civil rights complaint giving her legal backing, Ryan Reynolds publicly standing strong beside her, and let's not forget money, fame, and serious influence on her side. It looked like she was untouchable, like nothing could knock her down. But then came October 2025, and everything shifted. Judge Lewis Lyman stepped in and dismissed Baldoni's $400 million countersuit, along with his $250 million libel claim to the New York Times. On paper, this looked like a massive headline-grabbing victory for Blake Lively. Everyone thought she just sealed a comeback, but oh, that was far from the end. Here's the part everyone needs to understand, and it's crucial. The judge's dismissal didn't prove she was telling the truth. Nope. It just meant the legal process has technical rules that stop Baldoni's countersuit. That's it. That's the only reason the case was thrown out. Blake didn't win anything, at least not yet. The real case is still alive, and that's exactly where things start to crumble for her. Instead of staying low-key, Blake acted like she just won the entire battle. The second that ruling hit, she started celebrating like it was all over. She showed up at the Tribeca Festival dinner glowing from ear to ear, posing for every camera, flashing that confident smile and looking like she just conquered Hollywood itself. And right there beside her was Ryan Reynolds, standing tall, looking every bit the proud husband. But behind all that glam, the real fight was just getting started. Blake took her victory lap way too early. She jumped on social media, thanking everyone who supported her like the battle was over. Her post made it sound like Justin Baldoni was done for, like she'd crushed him in court and walked away with the win. She practically declared herself the champion before the trial even began. And honestly, watching that, I couldn't help but think, does she not realize how the legal system actually works? The judge's dismissal didn't prove she was telling the truth. It just meant the legal process has technical rules that stop Baldoni's countersuit. That's it. That's the only reason the case was thrown out. Blake didn't win anything, at least not yet.
All right, well, this is by far the most incriminating piece of evidence against Blake Lively's claims against Justin Baldoni, and it was at the hand of Blake Lively herself. Her own words just screwed her. So Blake Lively was requesting to get a PGA mark, okay? And so that's for like the top producer on a project. They get this very special credential. And we've already heard from Baldoni and Heath, and we have a letter that they wrote to their attorney at the time, that they were pressured and that they had to write an endorsement for Blake Lively, and they wrote that endorsement under duress. She was hijacking the film, she was difficult to work with, she was demanding that they write this letter so that she can get this coveted PGA credit, right? And she got it, and now we've gotten to see that letter, and in that letter, she buries herself. She goes in to talk about all the things that she did as the head of this film to make sure that she got this coveted PGA mark. And she lists everything, pre-production, production, post-production. But the most incriminating piece, I managed the politics and HR concerns on a daily basis, acting as an intermediary to keep crew and cast engaged, safe, and on board. And that's just one of the many things that she listed that made sure she was in control of this film the entire process.
And here's the real problem. When you celebrate too early and then new evidence drops that contradicts your story, it hits even harder. It makes everything look a whole lot worse. Now here's where things start to get wild. Remember Blake's claims about Justin acting inappropriately on set? She painted a serious picture, making it sound like the situation was way out of line. But then, boom, TMZ came through with the actual footage she was talking about. And once that video hit the internet, everything started to shift. And guess what? The video shows absolutely nothing. No exaggeration here. The footage doesn't reveal a single thing inappropriate. Zero, zilch, nothing. When the public saw that clip, the internet exploded with doubt. People started asking the obvious question. If she wasn't truthful about this, then what else in her story might not add up? The skepticism spread fast. And honestly, who could blame anyone for being suspicious when the proof on camera doesn't match the accusations? That's a huge problem. Even Baldoni's lawyer stepped forward and broke his silence, trying to set the record straight. In his official statement, he made it crystal clear that Justin never had any intention of hurting Blake Lively or ruining her image. He wasn't out to destroy her career, drag her name, or turn this into some public feud. According to him, Justin was simply trying to protect himself and clear his name from what he says are completely false accusations. The narrative suddenly flipped, and everyone started watching Blake's next move closely. And you know what? The public's not buying Blake's story anymore. Not after that video surfaced. But hold on, because things take an even darker turn for her after this. This next part is where Blake really slips up and might have just wrecked her entire case. One of her biggest and most shocking accusations centered around a specific scene in the movie where her character goes through a gynecological examination. This moment was meant to be one of the most intense and uncomfortable scenes in the whole film, and Blake used it as a key piece of her story. She claimed that during filming, she was wearing what she called a slit covering to protect her privacy, but that it didn't do its job. According to her, Justin's best friend, who was playing the doctor in the scene, could supposedly see everything. She described it as humiliating, saying she felt totally exposed and vulnerable while cameras were rolling. It sounded horrifying, like something no actor should have to experience on set. But soon, the truth behind that claim started to unravel fast. That's a huge accusation, serious enough to shake the entire production. If what Blake claimed were true, it would have been absolutely unacceptable behavior on any film set. No actress should ever be made to feel unsafe or exposed while working, period. But then, everything flipped when the actor who played the doctor in that same scene finally spoke out. And what he said completely shattered Blake's version of events. According to him, Blake wasn't wearing some thin, risky covering like she described. Nope. He said she was wearing biker shorts, real full coverage biker shorts that left absolutely nothing exposed. He made it clear she was completely protected during the shoot, no question about it. Now stop and think about that for a second. This isn't some minor mix-up or memory lapse. Blake didn't just forget a detail. She gave a specific description of what she was wearing and claimed she felt fully exposed. And now an eyewitness from that very scene is flat out saying, nope, that never happened. That's the kind of contradiction that can wreck an entire case. This is the slip-up that might have destroyed everything for her. Because if Justin's lawyers can prove she wasn't truthful about this one moment, it puts every other part of her story under a microscope. It crushes her credibility as a witness. And the wildest part? Blake had to know people on that set would fact-check her version. It's almost like she didn't think anyone would speak up. She had to know there were witnesses. There were cameras, crew members, and a full production team right there. So why risk lying about something that could be so easily disproven? It makes you seriously wonder if she bit the truth on that. What else in her story might not add up? At this point, Blake's entire case is starting to crumble fast. The TMZ footage doesn't match her claims, the story about the exam scene has been called out to be false, and the public is quickly losing faith in her. So what does Blake do next? Instead of regrouping quietly, she makes another massive mistake that leaves everyone talking. In January 2026, Blake brought in a powerhouse, Sigrid McCauley. That name should sound familiar because Sigrid's the same high-profile attorney who represented Jeffrey Epstein's victims. She's strong, respected, and connected at the highest levels, the exact kind of person you'd want fighting in your corner during a scandal this big. But here's where the twist hits hard. Sigrid isn't handling Blake's legal case at all. She's not in the courtroom arguing motions, not filing official documents, not cross-examining witnesses. Nope. She's been hired purely for crisis PR, just to manage Blake's public image. And that's where the hypocrisy hits like a bombshell. Because remember, one of Blake's biggest accusations against Justin was that he ran a smear campaign against her. She even used the fact that he hired a PR strategist as proof that he was out to destroy her reputation. But now, she's doing the exact same thing. Blake's whole argument from the start was that Justin Baldoni hiring a crisis PR team proved he had something to hide, that it was proof he was guilty of trying to smear her name. That was her logic, plain and simple. Now, she's turned around and done the exact same thing. Blake just hired her own crisis PR expert, and by her own standard, doesn't that mean she's hiding something too? Doesn't that make her guilty by her own logic?
Not only that, because we also have the Taylor Swift text messages that were also pretty damning because they laugh about how Baldoni should have never allowed them to put Taylor Swift's song in the trailer because that then was him relinquishing any perceived control he had over this project. His own project, mind you. So, I mean, listen, if you actually look at this, like, it is pages of things that Blake Lively claims she did, which made her one of the top dogs on the set of It Ends With Us. So it's hard to say that you had no control. You were just an actress. He was the director. He was the producer. You had no control over anything, and he was harassing you the entire time. And not only that, but then you're also responsible for Jenny Slate's complaints and Isabella Ferrer's complaints. All of that now falls on Blake Lively's shoulders, as she admitted in her own words.
The public noticed immediately. People aren't clueless. They see the pattern, and they're calling it out all over social media. Blake's doing the very thing she condemned Justin for, and that makes her look like a total hypocrite. You can't accuse someone of running a smear campaign because they brought in PR help and then turn around and do it yourself. That's not how any of this works, and fans are pointing out the contradiction loud and clear. But just when you think it couldn't get more chaotic, here comes the Taylor Swift twist, and it's wild. Everyone knows Blake and Taylor are inseparable best friends. They've been tight for years. They're always showing up at each other's events, posting photos together, and giving major ride or die energy online. But now that friendship, it might be turning into Blake's biggest problem yet, because Taylor's name is about to get dragged right into the middle of this legal firestorm. Rumors are flying, and if even a fraction of this is true, it's absolutely insane. Word on the street is that Taylor Swift's dad is ready to hand over private messages between Taylor and Blake to Justin Baldoni's legal team, and the reason behind it is shocking. According to these rumors, Blake allegedly threatened Taylor, telling her that if she didn't publicly stand by her during her lawsuit, Blake would leak 10 years worth of their private chats. Can you imagine that?
Writing this song, it kind of occurred to me that in all of the superhero stories, the hero's greatest nemesis is the villain that used to be his best friend. When you think about that, you think about how there's this beautiful moment in the beginning of a friendship where these people have no idea that one day they'll hate each other and try to really take each other out. I mean, that's really sad and terrible.
Using a decade-long friendship as leverage in a legal battle? That's next-level drama right there. And apparently, Blake also asked Taylor to delete their old messages. Now, if someone's innocent, why would they even need to erase conversations? That kind of move screams sketchy behavior. Now, let's be real. These are still rumors at this point, nothing confirmed. But even whispers like this can seriously damage Blake's image and her case in court. The fact that people are even talking about it is bad enough.
Not Blake Lively being horrible towards Justin Baldoni before filming even started. This may have been before they even met. Within the unsealed documents that were released yesterday, we have text messages from April of 2023. Blake sends a text to someone saying, "For your cringe pleasure," it's a link. The link won't open for me, but I assume it's Justin's video. And the person Louis responds to Blake, "Oh my god, I cannot watch him. He's a liar and a fake and so full of shit, so full of shit. Okay, I'm done." You will be the reason this film gets made and works, not him. It is a movie, not a soundbite. And he will quickly realize he will need you tremendously to take him through this. Just wait, he will have his meltdown because he will realize he is not all that. He will need to rely on you. And when that happens, please, dear God, gloat, gloat, gloat to me. Blake responds, that's so well said, it's a movie, not a soundbite. And then Blake says he had a bit of a meltdown today when I told him, I need nothing from you on this film as an actor or director. I'm good. I've got me. I only need one thing from you, not to make me feel like shit. I don't even need you to make me feel confident. I've got that. I only need the bare minimum from you, just don't make me feel like shit. That's your only job, I've got the rest. Then Blake says he audibly sobbed. It was the performance of a lifetime. Louis responds,
And here's what's confirmed. Taylor Swift has made it absolutely clear she's not getting pulled into this mess. She's refused to be deposed, she's not testifying, and she's staying completely out of it. That silence speaks volumes, doesn't it? Because when your best friend doesn't want to back you up in a case this public, it says a lot. If Blake were truly the victim here, wouldn't her best friend want to stand up for her? Wouldn't Taylor be willing to testify to confirm what Blake supposedly told her in private? The fact that Taylor Swift is staying quiet and refusing to get involved says a lot. That silence feels heavy and people are noticing. Because if those rumored private messages ever see the light of day, it could be devastating. Imagine if they show Blake trying to pressure or manipulate one of the most powerful women in the world. That would instantly wipe out any last bit of public sympathy she's got left. It could turn the whole narrative upside down in seconds. So where does the case go from here? Let's break it down. The full civil trial for Blake's sexual harassment and retaliation claims is now locked in for May 18, 2026. That's when everything is set to unfold in front of a jury in the Southern District of New York. It was originally planned for March, but got delayed to make room for other cases stacking up on the court schedule. But here's the twist. There's a growing chance this trial might never even happen. And if that's the case, the reason why could be just as dramatic as everything else we've seen so far. Here's where things get really intense, because on January 22, 2026, there's a major hearing scheduled for Justin Baldoni's motion for summary judgment. And this is a game changer. A summary judgment means the judge can decide to shut the whole case down before it ever reaches a jury. If Baldoni's lawyers can prove that Blake's claims don't hold any legal weight, the judge can end it right there. No trial, no jury drawn out courtroom drama, just case closed. And honestly, after everything that's come out, the birth scene lie, the TMZ footage that didn't back her up, and the whole crisis PR hypocrisy, Baldoni's team has plenty of ammo to fire with this motion. They don't even need to tear apart every claim. Just proving that one major allegation is false could be enough to crush the entire case. And since that birth scene story already fell apart publicly, that alone might seal the deal for him. Let's be real, Blake Lively is in serious trouble, and a lot of it is because of her own actions. First off, she's fighting against a long-standing reputation issue. For years, there have been whispers in Hollywood that Blake can be cold, dismissive, or even difficult to work with. Crew members and insiders have shared stories painting her as demanding and entitled. And while those are just stories, people remember them. So when she stepped forward as the victim in this lawsuit, not everyone was quick to believe her. Second, and maybe most damaging, the evidence just keeps clashing with her version of events. Every new detail that drops seems to raise more questions about whether her story really adds up. The TMZ footage shows absolutely nothing inappropriate. No proof, no misconduct, nothing at all. The whole birth scene story, completely debunked. And every single time new evidence comes out, it just makes Blake look worse instead of clearing her name. Then there's her behavior. It's making her look even more suspicious. Hiring a crisis PR expert after accusing someone else of doing the exact same thing is straight up hypocritical. And if those rumors about her allegedly pressuring Taylor Swift are even partly true, that's manipulative on another level. Add in how she acted like she'd already won before the trial even began, that kind of confidence comes off as pure arrogance. So here's the big question. Are Blake Lively's lies finally catching up to her, or does she still have a shot to turn this mess around and actually win? I want to know what you think about this whole wild situation. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And hey, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.